Welcome back to the next installment of Boy You Have Seen Nothing, where I take a classic film that everyone and their mother has seen, and I review it for you guys, and this month's movie is going to be The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So, enjoy. Hey, what's up you guys? Film Fan 0599 here again, and today we're going to review The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly stars Clint Eastwood, and what this film is about, it's about basically these guys named Blondie and Tuco, and what happens is that they need to kind of bond in unlikely force with each other to stop this other guy named Angel Eyes from getting this fortune that is hidden in this graveyard. So, what did I think of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? Now, I've heard many things about this movie. You know, it's a very classic Western. Everybody talks about it, and I was very intrigued to see it because, you know, of all the buzz it gets, and people, you know, hail it as one of the greatest movies of all time and everything. So, yeah. So, what did I think of it? It's a great movie. I honestly found a lot of enjoyment out of it. I do think it is a great movie. Would I say it's one of my all-time favorites? Probably not, but I will say it is a great movie. I think it is a movie that everyone should indeed see. So, let's get into my positives. And my positives are, first being the acting. The acting was really good in this movie. I thought Clint Eastwood was really enjoyable as Blondie. I very much enjoyed him. He is the good in this movie, even though he doesn't do well. He is the guy you kind of want to root for, but he's no more or less evil than the bad and the ugly, if you will think about it. But he was very enjoyable, and I did enjoy him in this movie. You know, he is the, you know, king of westerns. Like, whenever you think western, you think of Clint Eastwood, and definitely he was very enjoyable in this movie. I actually really liked him in the film. Eli Kolick, I believe that's how you say his last name. He was great as Tuco. I really enjoyed him in this movie. He did a very good job as well. Lee Van Cleef as Angel Eyes. He was great. I thought he did a fantastic job as the villain. You know, very intimidating and very enjoyable to watch on screen. He was really great as the villain. Definitely was a great element to this movie, and definitely brought a lot of presence to the movie. I very much enjoyed him in the film. The action sequences are really good. I really like the action sequences in this movie, especially when you get towards the finale of the movie. Of course, no spoilers, but when you get to that finale, it's just so intense and just so, like, what's going to happen, you know what I mean? And it was just great. I really enjoyed that about the film, and it just had some really good action scenes. Very well filmed, very, you know, very well filmed, very well shot, you know. So, yeah, I thought the action sequences were really good in this movie. I like the dynamic, actually, between Blondie and Tuco. It was actually really enjoyable to watch on screen. Of course, you know, they kind of build an unlikely, you know, partnership. They really have to, because, you know, they don't want this Angel Eyes guy to get whatever's in, you know, whatever is this fortune. And, you know, it was just enjoyable to watch them on screen together. It was actually really enjoyable. I actually really liked them together. It was actually really enjoyable and really good in my eyes. The soundtrack. This was probably my favorite part of the entire film. The soundtrack was absolutely great with this movie. You know the classic theme, the da da da, you know that part, score. But there were some other great scores in this movie too. Like, the soundtrack is just really fantastic with this movie. It's probably one of my all-time. It might be in there now as one of my all-time favorite soundtracks to a film, because it's just great. I absolutely love the soundtrack to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's just fantastic. The writing is great. I thought the writing was really great with the movie. The directing was really good too. Very well shot. Very atmospheric. You know, they got the atmospheric, you know, part of, you know, of the Western world, and I actually really liked that with the movie. And the directing was just great with the film. Very well shot. Very, you know, the cinematography was great as well. So yeah, the movie is very well directed. The pacing, for the most part, is actually very solid. Like, the movie is 2 hours and 58 minutes. Yes, an almost 3-hour movie. And it moves at a pretty solid pace. Like, for the most part, I was invested in this movie for the majority of it. And, you know, definitely had some really good pacing to it. Now, I do have some issues, however, with The Good and the Bad and the Ugly, and my issues are, first being, the audio sync with this movie. Now, I thought I was the only one that noticed this, but apparently some other people have noticed this too. The audio syncing. At some points in this movie, like when they're talking, it's like out of sync. It was weird. I was just like, wait. Yeah, I thought it was just gonna happen once or twice maybe. I was like, okay, but it happens a few more times during the movie, and you're like, yeah, this is weird, and it's definitely like terrible to watch. Just it's like it's so out of sync at some points. I was just like, oh my goodness. But it only happens like I want to say maybe a couple times during the movie, like, but it really just felt weird and very out of place, and it was honestly very laughable at times whenever it would go out of sync. And so yeah. And lastly, my last issue with the movie is that the movie does tend to get boring at some points. Like I said, the movie's 2 hours and 58 minutes. It's an almost 3-hour movie. But there were some points where it did take it dragged a little bit. There were some times in the film where I did feel a little bit bored. So yeah, but there were some times in the movie where it did drag. So yeah. But overall, I do think The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a great movie. It's definitely a great Western. I do think it is a movie that everyone should check out. Would I put it in the greatest movies of all time? Maybe, I don't know really. But I will say it is a great movie. I definitely could see why someone would say it is one of the greatest movies of all time, because it is fantastic. It has some great acting, really good action scenes, one of the best soundtracks I think ever to a movie. It's great. I honestly really loved The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. So it's time for my official grade on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. My official grade on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is an A-. It's a great movie. I definitely think it is a film that everyone should check out. I very much enjoyed it. So yeah, definitely deserves an A-. So what did you guys think of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly? Leave in the comment section below. Now, I'm FilmFan0599, and we'll see you all later. Peace.